When your own child looks you in the eye and tells you that you're not welcome on the most important day of her life, your world cracks. That's what happened to me. My daughter, my pride and joy, told me I wasn't invited to her wedding. I could have cried. I could have begged. But instead, I smiled. And quietly, I made a decision that would echo through her big day and long after. If I wasn't welcome, neither was my money. I had always imagined her wedding. The white dress, the flowers, the moment I'd see her walking down the aisle with her father, my ex-husband, and still, I thought maybe she'd look for me in the crowd. That thought alone was enough to make all the years of sacrifice feel worthwhile. But reality is rarely that kind. When the wedding invitations went out, I checked the mailbox every day like a child waiting for Christmas. Bills, ads, junk, but no invitation. I brushed it off at first. Maybe it got lost. Maybe she was planning to hand-deliver it to make it special. I wanted to believe that. Then one evening, my phone rang. Her name flashed on the screen. I answered, cheerful, expectant, but her tone was clipped, cold. "Mom," she said, "I need to tell you something before you hear it from someone else. I don't think it's a good idea for you to come to the wedding." Her words knocked the air out of me. I thought I misheard. "What? Why would you say that?" She sighed, like I was a burden she didn't want to deal with. We don't want drama. You and Dad in the same room, old issues, family tension. It's better this way." My chest tightened. I swallowed hard. "So, you don't want me there?" Silence. Then a flat, "It's better if you don't come." I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, hearing nothing but my own heartbeat. The line went dead. I didn't cry right away. I just stared at the wall, numb. After everything, after raising her alone when her father walked out after skipping meals so she could eat, after double shifts to pay for her school clothes, after every late night talk when she was heartbroken, this is how it ended? Me being drama? That night the tears came, hot, stinging, endless. I clutched a pillow and muffled my sobs into it, like I had to hide even from myself. But tears only last so long. By morning, my sorrow had sharpened into anger. I remembered every sacrifice, every bill I had paid for that wedding already, the venue deposit under my name, the florist I booked, the bakery I advanced money to, thousands of dollars, all from my pocket. And that's when it hit me. If I wasn't welcome at her wedding, why should my money be welcome? I sat at my kitchen table the next morning with a stack of papers. Receipts, emails, confirmations, all proof of the payments I had made. She never once asked, "Mom, can you afford this?" And your mom, do you want to contribute? She simply assumed I would, because mothers always do. But here's the truth. Mothers are not bottomless wells. We give, and we give, and we give. But even wells run dry when no one values the water. I ran my finger over the venue contract. It was in my name. I had paid the deposit. My credit card carried the balance. She thought it was hers, but legally it was mine. The flowers? My bank transfer? The band? My signature? The bakery? My receipt? The anger gave me clarity. Slowly, carefully, I picked up the phone. "Hello, this is Mrs. Johnson. Yes, I'm calling about the wedding booked for June 14th. I'd like to cancel my payment." The woman on the other end hesitated. "Ma'am, are you sure? This is rather unusual." "Oh, I'm sure," I said, my voice calm, almost too calm. And so it began, one by one. I canceled everything that had my name on it. The florist was disappointed, but polite. The band tried to negotiate, but a contract is a contract. The bakery actually thanked me for freeing their schedule. With every cancellation, I felt lighter. It wasn't about revenge, not fully. It was about fairness. If I wasn't part of the wedding, then my money shouldn't be either. By the end of the day, I sat back, my bank account thousands richer, my shoulders lighter. For the first time since that devastating phone call, I breathed deeply. I thought I would feel guilty, but I didn't. I felt free, but I knew my daughter. And I knew it was only a matter of time before the storm hit. 2 days later, I woke up to my phone buzzing nonstop. When I checked, I saw 18 missed calls. My heart leapt. Part of me hoped she had changed her mind, that she wanted me there after all. But hope is a cruel thing. I answered the 19th call. Her voice was frantic. "Mom, what did you do?" "The venue called me. The florist canceled. The bakery says we don't have a cake anymore. The band says the contract is void. What's happening?" I kept my voice even. "I canceled them, sweetheart." Her silence lasted a beat. Then she erupted. "What? Why would you do that? You ruined everything." I closed my eyes, exhaling slowly. "No, you ruined everything when you told me I wasn't welcome. I only followed your wishes. If I'm not part of your wedding, neither is my money." Her breathing was sharp, ragged. Then she spat out the word I never thought I'd hear. You're selfish. You destroyed my big day. Selfish. The woman who raised her alone, who paid for her schooling, who gave everything I had, called selfish for finally saying no. I almost laughed. Instead, I stayed quiet. She hung up, but the calls didn't stop. Her fiancé called, his voice polite, begging. Please, ma'am, we can't cover these costs without you, I said gently. Then maybe you should have thought about that before excluding me. The calls turned nasty after that. Angry texts, accusations, family members chiming in, telling me I was cruel. But for once, I wasn't bending. I wasn't apologizing for wanting respect. Actions have consequences. She had made her choice. Now she would live with it. After the storm of calls and messages, the silence that followed was almost eerie. For a few days, I didn't hear from her. No texts, no begging, no shouting, just quiet. But that didn't mean the world around me was quiet. My phone rang again, this time from relatives. Why did you do that? One cousin demanded. You know she's under stress. Weddings are hard. You could have let it slide. Let it slide? I bit my tongue, but my anger rose. For years, I had let it slide. I let it slide when she spoke sharply to me as a teenager. I let it slide when she forgot Mother's Day 3 years in a row. I let it slide when she only called me when she needed money. This time, I didn't let it slide. And suddenly, everyone had an opinion. But not all opinions were against me. A few family members whispered in my ear. You did the right thing, one aunt said softly. She's been spoiled for too long. Someone needed to teach her respect. And even my sister, who rarely agreed with me on anything, said, You gave her everything. It's about time she learned she can't treat you like a bank. Still, the guilt tugged at me. I lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I had gone too far. Was I punishing her too harshly? Would this ruin our relationship forever? Then the wedding day arrived. I stayed home. I made myself a cup of tea, sat out on the porch, and let the warm sun wash over me. For years, I had envisioned myself sitting in a pew, tears of joy in my eyes, watching my daughter start her new life. Instead, I watched sparrows flutter in the yard and listened to the hum of summer. A neighbor came by, surprised to see me. Aren't you supposed to be at the wedding? She asked gently. I smiled faintly. Not today. Later, photos began circulating online. I saw them. The wedding had gone on, but smaller, cheaper, less glamorous than she dreamed. The flowers looked hastily arranged. The dress looked unfinished. The reception hall dimly lit. She smiled in the pictures, but her eyes told another story. I should have felt triumphant, but instead I felt a mix of sorrow and strength. Sorrow because I wasn't there. Strength because I had finally stood up for myself. For once in my life, I wasn't just the giver. I wasn't just the one who sacrificed without thanks. I was the one who set the boundary. And boundaries are powerful things. Several weeks passed before I heard from her again. One evening, just as the sun dipped low, there was a knock at my door. I opened it to find her standing there, looking small. Smaller than I had ever seen her. Her eyes were swollen, her makeup smudged. She looked like a child again, the same little girl who used to cry when she scraped her knee. But this time the wound wasn't on her skin. It was in her heart. Mom, she whispered, her voice trembling. I was wrong. I didn't say anything. I simply stepped aside and let her in. She sat at the kitchen table, the same table where I had spread out the receipts weeks earlier, and she lowered her head into her hands. I wanted everything perfect, she said, her voice breaking. And I thought I could control it all. But in trying to control everything, I pushed away the one person who mattered most. You. Tears pricked my eyes, but I held them back. I had cried enough. I hurt you, she said. I disrespected you. I made you feel like you didn't matter. And you've always mattered. I'm sorry. For a long moment, I said nothing. I just looked at her, my daughter, my blood, my heart, and thought about how fragile love can be. One word, one choice can break it. But forgiveness can stitch it back together. I reached across the table and took her hand. It was cold, trembling. I squeezed it gently. You don't get many chances in life to start over, I said softly. But you're my daughter, and I'll always love you. Trust, though, that takes time to rebuild. She nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. We sat there in silence, hand in hand. Two women learning what it meant to love with boundaries. For the first time in her life, she saw me not just as a mother who gave endlessly, but as a woman with worth. And for the first time in a long time, I felt seen. Revenge isn't always about anger. Sometimes it's about balance. I didn't cancel those payments to destroy my daughter's wedding. I did it to remind her that love without respect isn't love at all. It's taking. And in the end, she learned. She saw me as more than just a mother with open pockets. She saw me as a person, flawed, human, worthy of respect. If you've ever been taken for granted, if you've ever been told you don't belong by the very people you sacrificed everything for, remember this: you are not invisible. You matter. And sometimes the greatest act of love is teaching someone the value of losing you.